Welcome to Wisden, India's coverage of the Lord's Test. First day, it's been intriguing. India had the better of the first session, but England have fought back very strongly, very nicely poised going into day two. Joining me, I've got Isha Guha, who's made the seamless transition from playing field to commentary box. Isha, the Lord's mystique, as people call it. A lot of experienced players, even no matter how many matches they've played elsewhere, when they come here, there's still that feeling of being overawed by the stage in a sense. What's it really like playing here?
Well, it's such a magical ground to play at. You walk into the ground and you can immediately feel a sense of history. It's 200 years old and it's a pretty memorable place. I know that all overseas players, it's one of their favourite places to play at, just because of the history surrounding the ground. Then you've got the Lord's Pavilion, which holds so many stories and has a lot of history there as well in terms of the members and the fact that women were only allowed in there 15 years ago. That was a pretty big feat, I think. And the Lord's Slope as well, very characteristic of the ground. The fact that it drops 8 foot from the grandstand down to the tavern stand, it really just gives it such a unique quality.
As a bowler yourself, how difficult was it adjusting to that slope? Because some bowlers have thrived because of it, others really, find their rhythm going to pieces.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I was one that never really found my rhythm properly. I enjoyed some good periods here. I probably didn't play as much as other England players have done it along the course of their career. I think I only played maybe 3 or 4 times here at Lord's. But it really is a place that that the slope will assist you, and it's really a question of being able to find that line early on. Someone like Jimmy Anderson, he's used to playing here and he's been excellent here over the years, just being able to get the ball to move both ways, and I think he prefers bowling from the pavilion end, but today we've seen him bowl from both ends actually.
What did you make of the pitch and the way both teams reacted to it in the morning? Because I don't think anyone expected something as well grassed as this, and I think even England had a little trouble adjusting to it initially.
Well, that's right. It was completely grassy, and for many people they couldn't tell where the pitch was because it was so green. It kind of just blended into the outfield, but Mick Hunt, the Lord's groundsman, really did overcompensate today. He obviously saw what happened at Trent Bridge last week and decided that he didn't want it to happen at his ground. He wanted to get a bit more pace into the wicket. England played Sri Lanka here earlier on in the summer, and actually there was a bit of grass on it, but it was still quite slow. So he's really tried to leave a lot on there, and a bit of moisture as well. So the right thing to do was win the toss and bowl, but once you do that, you've got to put it in the right areas, and I just don't think England really did that initially. The lengths that they bowled, they were bowling good lengths, but they weren't making India play enough. It was all too easy for the openers to leave the ball and to just fend it off themselves without getting into too much trouble. On a wicket like this, you need to be asking questions of the batsmen and asking them to drive the ball, which I don't think happened too much in the first session. All credit to India. India did play very well. They did obviously adapt to the situation. It was a green seaming wicket. Murali Vijay was leaving balls outside the off stump and being very patient. And I think him and Pujara really worked well together, which meant that someone like Kohli could come in and score a run a ball after the new ball got old.
But it's a difficult pitch to bat on, isn't it? You spoke of Pujara. He batted, I think, 117 balls. Didn't look in too much trouble, but all it takes is that one ball that nips back off the seam or, just holds its line. And Kohli got a beauty as well from Anderson.
That's right. You never feel in on a pitch like this. There's always a bowler that can come on and just bowl that magic delivery, which will get you out. And so that's where you have to find the balance between scoring runs and being quite patient. I think certainly early on, when the ball's hooping around, getting movement off the seam, pretty much every delivery, that's where you need to be quite patient and just wait for the ball to hit. At the same time, it makes it an interesting test match, doesn't it? We'd much rather see pitches like this than ones that are completely flat and the batsman, it's all too easy for them to play the ball. I know the England bowlers will certainly be much happier with this pitch. And also the keeper, Matt Pryor, did a lot of work bending down at Trent Bridge, where he had to try and take balls that were around his ankles, and today we've seen it carry through at a nice height. So that's been a big difference. And then obviously a partnership was formed in the afternoon, and India have been able to get themselves into a decent position. I thought at the start of the day 180 would have been 180 to 200 would be a good first innings score. And then we talk about Lords. Obviously, we've heard the hum of the ground. It's such an amazing place to play cricket. Anywhere in the world that you go to, it will never be like this, because everyone's so polite, and it's still got quite a gentlemanly atmosphere.
And finally, India's bowling, whenever they come out to bowl, you've seen a bit of their pace attack now, how they did up at Trent Bridge. What's key to them doing well on this surface?
They've got to attack the off stump, and I think they did that at Trent Bridge much better than England did, which is why they were able to take wickets in that first innings, in England's first innings, sorry. And I think they have the pace attack to really utilise this pitch. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has the ability to swing it both ways. If he gets it up there, I think he can cause the England batsmen a lot of problems, especially with someone like Alistair Cook, who's under a lot of pressure. Mohammed Shami as well, a similar type of bowler, gets movement off the pitch. And Ishant Sharma, if he bowls full, then he's a real handful, because he's got a natural in-swing shape. When he was pitching it up at Trent Bridge, we saw that he was getting it to go away as well. And so that's why I think it's imperative for him to bowl fuller.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Isha, and we'll be back again after the second day's play tomorrow. That's it from me at Lords.